Hello, everybody. This is Hondo Carpenter coming at you from Gillette Stadium here in Foxborough. You can see my view right there. There's the field in the stadium right there. I am literally sitting in, this is one of the boxes that the coaches sat in and doing my post-game podcast today. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it all. We have so many issues to cover today. A big win for the Raiders. This is a game that they would have lost the previous 5 years that I covered this team. They come out with a 2013 win, but quite frankly, I thought it was better than that. It was a great win. They came out on fire. The first drive, they were fantastic, offense and defense. Then they came down the field. They drove down the field. Geno had an interception. And then for the rest of the first half, they kind of were going downhill. But the thing that stood out to me was in the past, you would see the team not quit, but you would see the team, they would begin to almost try too hard. And then one mistake turned into multiple mistakes. And although you saw a couple players that had some mistakes, we'll talk about that in a minute. The whole mood on the bench, they were laughing, and it wasn't laughing like they weren't taking it seriously. It was they were having fun. They completely expected from the moment they got on the airplane on Friday to come here until, and they're probably on their way to the airport right now, they expected to win this game. And so it was a sense of, oh man, we're playing like crap. We got to fix this. But I've been telling you a couple things all camp that there was going to be things that you were going to see that I couldn't talk to you about in camp. So here's a couple of them. They didn't do anywhere near all of them, but here's a couple I can talk to you about. You notice today, matter of fact, let me just look real quick if you don't mind. I apologize. I should have prepared, but I try to get this podcast up as soon as I can. So today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys were involved in getting passes. And then when you add in Zamir White running the football, 9 players, and then Geno got involved offensively for this team. If you're going to make the roster, you are going to play. And Chip Kelly has plays and packages for every single player, which was a big deal. Number 2, you saw incredible adjustments. Now, we've seen good adjustments from Patrick Graham in the past, but he's had bosses. And you saw Pete Carroll telling his guys, lead your side of the ball. What are your adjustments? What are you going to do? They talk with Pete, and he's like, go do it, make it. And for the first time in the 6 years I've covered this team now, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Everyone knows I love Gru and others, but this is going to be the best that you've ever seen a Raiders team make adjustments. You saw in the past the Raiders would make adjustments and then quit on them. Or they'd make adjustments and the other team would make an adjustment and it was over. Or you'd see them come out scripted and they knew the game plan. The other team would adjust, and then the whole rest of the game, they would just went to crap. Well, here you saw they came out, had a game plan. Then Mike Vrabel was a great coach, changed it. And then they came in at halftime, made some adjustments. Then you saw about halfway through the third quarter, maybe the last third of the third quarter, Vrabel made some more adjustments, and then bam, the Raiders made them again. It was the best coaching job that I have seen in its entirety of a Raider team since I've covered this team in 6 years. Just top to bottom, what a wonderful coaching job from Pete Carroll, kind of establishing what he wanted to do, to Patrick Graham doing it. I mean, Patrick Graham's defense essentially, pitched a shutout the entire second half. Phenomenal job by Patrick Graham. I mean, they lose a Landon Roberts and Tommy Freak and Eichenberg got some really good reps. But he wasn't a Landon. And no word yet on a Landon. I think that, but pray for him. Brock Bowers wanted to come in. They wouldn't let him. And that speaks to the depth of the talent that they had. They didn't feel like they needed him. And they were being precautious. I spoke to somebody who is not a doctor, but seems pretty confident that Brock's okay. Um, Nobody knows on a Landon, but I think it is fair to say concern. Absolutely. Um, I want to say a couple things to Raider fans, and I love you and I respect you, but some of you are just so miserably unhappy. I literally saw people who I like on Twitter, say whatever you want about the win, but Ginty didn't even get 50 yards or whatever he had. In fact, he ran for 38. Okay, I understand you want to have hot takes and you want to sound smart, but you don't sound smart to anyone who watches football game. The Patriots were absolutely loading the box to stop Ashton. It's why your quarterback threw for 362 freaking yards, because they sold out to stop Ashton. I mean, some of you, if you won the lottery, the Powerball would bitch because you had to pay the taxes. Grow up. If you want to be miserable, fine, but why? Your team just went on the road, beat a good football team. This isn't a great team. It's a rebuilding team. It's a team that some people even predicted to make the playoffs with a very good coach. And your coaching staff just outcoached them, and you just outplayed them. Your defensive coordinator shut them down. Your offensive coordinator made them look silly. And you want to bitch about how many yards Ashton Ginty had. That's fine. Just keep it off my Twitter. I don't care. But enjoy it. Literally, this was a great win. First of all, they're all difficult to get in the NFL. You celebrate every freaking one of them. But also, it is totally fair to have criticism. All right, so let's talk about criticisms for a minute. Delmar DJ Glaze, the mule, gave up 2 sacks today. He had one penalty that I watched it. I didn't think it was a penalty. Neither did I don't think Pete Carroll thought it was a penalty either. But you take the penalty and you live with it. Sophomore player. Okay. The 2 sacks, he just got flat beat. And he's a second-year player. He's going to make those mistakes, but he'll adjust. Not worried about that. Jackson Powers Johnson had a stupid penalty. Now, he's not stupid, but it was a stupid lose your temper, get mad like he did last year. And that's the stuff that certainly contributed to him competing for his job. And if that continues, you will see Alex Kappa take his spot. I know that for a fact. Okay? They love JPJ. They love the toughness, but they don't need the stupid penalties that punish the team. He got blown up on a couple of sacks. Again, young player got beat. That's going to happen. You still won the football game. But the penalty on JPJ was brutal. Tell you where I had a bigger issue was a mistake Daniel Carlson made on a kickoff that gave him the ball at the 40. Daniel's too good. And he's makes too much money. He's too good. That mistake was unacceptable for him at his level. And that's not any disgrace. I think he's one of the top 3 kickers in the NFL. That's why he can't make that mistake. He did miss a field goal, but it was 58 yards in swirling wind and rain. I have no problem with that. The kickoff, a little bit of an issue with, but not the rest. I want to talk about, again, player execution. Chip Kelly's offense is attack, 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 attack all the time. And when the Raiders attacked and the players executed to their talent level, they're not asking anybody to do what they do not physically have the ability to do. That has happened here since I've covered this team. We saw it last year with the genius offensive coordinating, in my opinion, by Luke Getsy, asking people to do the stuff they couldn't. It made 0 sense. You didn't see one time today where Chip Kelly asked a player to do something he couldn't do. And when it failed, it was player execution. However, there was a couple times where guys made really good plays and the play didn't work, but that's because the old adage, they've got guys under contract on the other team too. Geno had one bad throw that a guy made it. It was a bad throw, so there's no excuse he shouldn't have made it. But the interception was a freakish athletic ability. Guy tips it, another guy gets it. It was a great play. Shouldn't have made the throw. But even if you make that throw 9 out of 10 times, it's probably not going to get picked. But it was just a great athletic ability. It's why the NFL is so awesome. But I think the story of this game was Raiders coaching. Great adjustments. And I want to go back to another area. And if you DVR'd this game, go back and watch it. I don't know if you saw this on TV. I saw it from the press box. But again, even when the team that second half, the second half of the first half, the second quarter, basically after Geno's fumble till the end, there's no quit, and there wasn't quit before. I'm not even remotely saying that. But you would see guys trying to. In fact, I talked with Tyree Wilson about it. And about, there were times you would see this team try too hard, trying to make it happen, and then they make more mistakes. Okay, I have to tell you, my good buddy, Shy, love you, Shy. And I've been telling you guys how well Tyree played, and he played outstanding today. And I said, hey, there was that sack. Yeah, but the guy ran into his arms. Okay, but there were multiple plays where his athleticism and length pushing on their young offensive tackle, and he forced Drake made a move, forced running backs to change direction. He was really good. And when you understand this is his sophomore year, what a tremendous ball game by Tyree Wilson. Absolutely tremendous ball game by Tyree Wilson. All right. Dante Thornton with a big catch down the field. And then Geno's forced out under pressure, so he didn't even get everything under the ball. Actually shortchanged it a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. But Dante makes the big catch. I think it was 33 or 35 yards. Big job by him. Trey Tucker, getting that touchdown early. Brock Bowers goes for over 100. It was just an all-around really good game. Dylan Labe had a great ball game on special teams, which was great. He's back here in New England where he's from, had a ton of family here, including friends and family. I was talking to him in the locker room. In fact, if you check out our channel, Las Vegas Raiders Insider with Hondo Carpenter on Spotify or Apple, I did 2 interviews today that won't go up as videos, just audios, Tyree Wilson and Dylan Labe. Go listen to them. But I was joking with Dylan, and, he had all this family here who grew up New England fans. And, but they're like, okay, well, we're rooting for you now. And just for him to play well, what a great, I was very, very happy for him. So let's break it down a little bit, because there's a couple things I wanted to bring up to you real quick. Penalties. Both teams had 9. There were too many penalties on the Raiders. I did not have a problem with the 2 PIs at all. The Caillou Blue, I had some people on Twitter, oh, you're wrong. Okay, whatever. But I didn't think it was a penalty. Pete Carroll didn't think it was a penalty. I had no issue with the PIs on the Raiders. None. Even if they were legit, they were aggression. You can deal with aggression penalties. You can't deal with stupid penalties. Okay. JPJ's penalty. He's not stupid. He's a smart, really good kid. It was a stupid penalty. Okay. I don't think I'm stupid. I have 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree, but I have done stupid things in my life too. There's no tolerance for stupid mistakes, but definitely grace and understanding for aggression mistakes. And the one penalty on DJ, I think you could make a very legitimate argument was not a good call. But regardless, there were some calls made against the Patriots that I felt like were not fair penalties either. So either way, it washed out. It all washed out. But let's talk about a couple of things. Time of possessions was just about even. That blew my brain. Now, I want to take you back to Thursday's podcast. And if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it because I told you what to look for in this game. And one of the things that I said was that Mike Vrabel's tendency, since he's been a head coach, is to take away the run game. But I emphasized to you he's a disciple of Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick was to take away the best thing you do, which would have been the passing game. He did exactly what he does. He did not want the Raiders to run the ball on him. He stuffed the box, and Geno threw it down his throat. Now, give them credit. They put pressure on him all freaking day. Geno's under pressure all day, and he just played tremendously. Got the ball out. Again, one bad interception, but the guy still had to make a great play. There were a couple of bad throws, but they weren't egregious. But putting the ball, getting his reads, there was one play he made. I can't say I've never seen it, but it is very rare. He had 5 reads. Boom, 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 boom. Back, bam, made a throw. It's everything I told you all training camp. He was in total command. And what I think is really cool is there's a ton to this playbook that hasn't even come out yet. There's a ton in Chip Kelly. If I'm sitting there and I am the Chargers, the Bolts, and I'm thinking about, okay, in 8 days, I got to go to Vegas and play. First thing I'm doing is hoping all 18 of my fans get there, but it's going to be a raucous Raider crowd. Now, if they were playing a Chicago or a Dallas, I wouldn't think so. But they're not. And there's a ton of this playbook that has not even been displayed. So if I'm Pete Carroll and I watch tonight and Brock's playing, I said, Pete Carroll, if I'm Jimmy Harbaugh, okay, I've got to stop the pass. I'm going to have to make Ashton beat me. Okay. That's what I would do if I were Jimmy next week. I am going to rush 4 guys and I'm going to make Ashton beat me. Okay. That's what I would do. And I would lose the football game. I thought it was really good. This Raider defense was as good. I remember during the preseason when we would tell you how good that they looked in training camp, and then people would go, well, they look like crap. Well, and I kept telling you, well, you're watching backups or you're watching this or you're watching that. Just take a deep breath. You saw today. I mean, they let them have 13 points and really 10. That's okay. If you told Pete Carroll you are going to give up 13 points a game all year, he would be like, sign me up. I'll take it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So great stuff there. All right, let's look at some stuff. Let's dig into this a little bit. Ginty ran 19 times for 38 yards. But again, you got 5 blockers, 6 blockers. By the way, on one of those blocks by JPJ, somebody said, oh, Ginty missed the block. Not true. It looked like it because he went over to help, but it wasn't what he was called to do. I asked someone about that. So that's not Hondo speculation. That's coming from somebody on the team. But Ashton had 19 carries for 38 yards. Geno Smith, 2 carries for 10. Zamir White, 3 for 8. Geno Smith, 24 of 34, had 103 rating. Good job by him. He got sacked 4 times for negative 29 yards. Now, let me just tell you why that's important, okay? Because if you take away those yards from Geno, who ran 2 for 10, it's really 2 for 39. Okay, then you go and look at this, Jacoby Myers. 10 receptions for 97 yards. But, oh, yeah, hot take, king of the hot take on Twitter. He's not a WR1. For example, you look at what the Lions just did. paid big jack to their wide receiver. And I tweeted it last night and I made a comment that, you know, I don't think Jacoby is expecting that kind of money. Okay, so I want to make that clear. I'm not saying that Jacoby should get that kind of money. You could have signed him for a whole heck of a lot less at the end of last year and during OTAs. People are still calling. I would talk to someone on Friday who confirmed that people are still calling and the Raiders have no interest in trading him. Yeah, but they're going to get a comp pick, Hondo. You're right. It'd be about a 4. And you could have traded him for a lot better. So, again, 10 for 97, and he was outstanding. And there were a couple times where he was open, and Geno purposely trying to spread the wealth just so the Patriots had to cover the entirety of the field, didn't go to him. Big day by Jacoby. Humongous day. But come on, Spytek, pay the man. Bowers, 5 receptions for 103 yards. He was outstanding. Michael Mayer, 4 receptions, 38 yards. Trey Tucker, 2 receptions, 54 yards. He had a touchdown. Dante Thornton, 2 receptions, 45 yards. Ashton, 2 receptions for 2 yards. Jack Besh, 1 reception for 23 yards. And Alex Bachman had 1 target but didn't catch a ball. Really, really good. Isaiah Pola-Mao got a huge interception, big interception by IPM. Remember, I told you, I don't think he's going to be a Pro Bowler this year, but I think he will next. I love me some IPM and the way he plays. I thought Trey Tucker was good on punt returns. There was 2 kicked out of bounds, one that was downed, but he had a 13-yard. But Dylan Labe, he had 2 kick returns for 65 yards, averaged 32.5 yards per kick return. That's a very big deal, and very much like to see it. Zamir had 1 for 31, so that was really good. Again, Malcolm Kuntz forced a fumble. Good job by him. Not a lot out of him. Not going to pretend that there was. I'm not concerned about it in the least bit right now. But I'm going to keep my eye on it. But I'm not concerned about Kuntz right now. Tyree played really, really well. And I'm not concerned about Kuntz. Let's flip it over there and let's talk about tackles. So Devin White had 11. Caillou Blue Kelly had 9. He played out of his mind. Man, those young corners for the Raiders played great. And listen, what were the 2 biggest positions of concern? Corner and linebacker. And I told you, I think it was on Thursday, it may have been Wednesday, that linebacker was now a concern. Was now a strength. And corner was a concern, but with a lot of talent. Boy, Caillou looked good. That guy plays like this all year. He's going to be in contention for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was phenomenal. Well, I guess not a rook, but he's going to be one of the best up and coming young players. Eric Stokes, he had 5 tackles. Jamal Adams, 3. Jeremy Chin, 3. Tyree Wilson, 3 tackles. He was everywhere. 3 tackles for Kuntz. Here's another guy, Thomas Booker. If you DVR'd the game, go back and just focus in and only watch Adam Butler and Thomas Booker. They played well. I was texting with somebody from the Patriots, and they're like, wow, that defensive line was good. And it was very, very good. So it was just an all-around, it was a tremendous performance, far from perfect. There is a ton of tape to fix. I think Nick Saban said this to me once. I think it was Nick who talked about a win with a bunch of teachable tape. Yes, please. And there's a lot here. Now, here's what's really cool. They don't play now for 8 days. So there's a lot of teachable tape here. And the way Pete and these coordinators teach and adjust, there, yeah, Katie barred the door there. That's going to be some good. Raiders are fixing to eat. So again, tremendous performance, far from perfect. Here's the cool part. Coaching and Geno are the only two things I give an A to. Well, I don't know. There was some really good. Oh yeah, it's part of the defense. Okay, Geno in the coaching and the open field tackling, I give a B to the defense. Geno I thought was exceptional, but the coaching was phenomenal. Again, concerned about Daniel with that one kick. Concerned about JPJ. I like him. I'm an advocate for him. But he has to help himself, and he cannot have penalties like that. I'm going to tell you right now. I've talked about it on previous podcasts when he was in a position battle. They did not like that about his tape last year at all. They loved his emotion, hated when his emotions were out of control. And if he does not fix that, he won't be a starter on this team. And he's a very good football player. Now, I'm going to tell you something. He's a smart kid, and he's a great kid. He's only in his sophomore year. So I'm going to show that kid a ton of grace, and I'm going to tell you, he's going to fix it. He's too good not to, and he's too good of a kid. But he gets emotional. He plays this game. He told me personally, and you maybe have seen the interview. It's up on YouTube. He always played football because he got picked on for being the fat kid, and he was able to go beat people up. So he plays this game from a place of emotion. I love JPJ. This is part of growing up. And sometimes people see these guys and they're like, wow, they make a lot of money and they're big human beings, but they're still kids. And I told you this the other day when I did my final projections of the record. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. Don't even think they're a playoff team. They're young. Young players make young mistakes. But this Raider team, now you see exactly what we've been talking about in training camp. It was not hyperbole. And you only saw 15%. There's more. Oh, there's more. This is like those late night Ginzu knives. But wait, there's more. It's coming. And you're going to see it. And this team, I believe, is going back to Allegiant in 8 days and getting a big win. I think they're going to beat the Bolts. I've told you this all along. I like Justin Herbert, the kid. I have not been impressed with him as a quarterback until the other night against Patrick. I've been much more impressed with Geno. Now, he played the best game I've ever watched him play against him. And I'm not rooting against him. He's a really good kid. I think Jimmy's a great coach. And it's going to be an epic battle next week. Epic battle. We're going to wait and see on Brock. I may change my opinion if Brock's not playing or Landon. Both of them aren't playing. But I will tell you, Geno came up limping early in the game. I say early, probably halfway through. But came back and played and was walking fine in the locker room and all of that. So I'm not worried about him at all. But I think this is setting up to be a really good start for the Raiders. And it was a good ball game. If you're a Raider fan, get your drink of choice. And mine's going to be a Desante bottled water. And I'm going to eat some clam chowder tonight. Headed over to Providence to see some family. But watch this game again. Celebrate it. You guys just out-coached a good team. a well-coached team. And this was a big win for Raider Nation. And I said it on Thursday, and I'll say it again. You guys needed this win more than Pete did. Because Pete and this team believe in where they're going. They really do. And it was good for the fans to get this win. So congratulations to you, the fans. I know that you'll enjoy it. Appreciate you all. Thanks for joining me again here in the locker room. I'll just show you. I'm here in the locker room. But here in the press box again, there's Gillette Stadium. And sitting here from the coach's box. So thanks for watching it with me. I appreciate all of you. May God richly bless you and your families. See you again tomorrow.